Friends, in this video we are going to discuss what is MSE, that is what is mean squared error. Now we have some data values or data points. Now in between that data values we have some difference, and that is nothing but the error. Now MSE gives the formula for finding the errors. Now in this video we are going to discuss in details what is the formula for finding the error, that is MSE, and we'll also solve an example, but the link of solved example is given into the description box. Now let's first understand what is mean squared error. Now what is mean squared error? Now to find the MSE or to find the error, we take the two values. Now there are two values of data set. The first value is called as observed value. Now what is observed value? The observed value is nothing but the actual value during the observation. And the second value is nothing but the predicted value. Now what is predicted value? The value is predicted before the observation, or you can refer it as an estimated value. Now to find the error, we are going to subtract the observed value, that is the actual value which is observed in observation, that is also called observed value, and which subtract from predicted value and will make the square the difference. Now at second point, we repeat all the observation because there are total n observation, and we're going to take the mean of that errors or sum of all that errors. That's why it is called as a mean squared error. Now let's understand this with one diagram. Now consider this diagram. Now in this diagram you can see this is the x-axis and y-axis. Now these are the 2 points, that is first is the observed value. The dotted point, these are all the observed value, or this is also called as an actual value. And the circle is nothing but, these are all circles are nothing but the predicted value. Now this value are predicted or estimated value, and the values in between we have predicted called as a regression line. Now on y-axis, it gives the difference between observed and predicted value. Now we have to find the errors. Now this is the predicted point or predicted value and observed value. Now difference between in these, or distance between the observed value and predicted value, gives the error. So we can estimate it one formula by using one formula, that is y minus y cap square. Now what is y? Y is nothing but the observed value. Now this y is nothing but the observed value or actual value. Now we are going to find the error. So y cap is nothing but the predicted value. That is, we are going to observe the error. So by taking the difference between observed and predicted value, that's why in formula y minus y cap. Now the result might be negative value, so the error must be negative. So if I want this error into the positive, I must have to make the square, because we know that negative or minus become the positive. That's why I make the square of that difference between the observed and predicted value. Now next, this is the sign of summation. Now why we require summation? We can consider the data set. So error we are considering, that is for all the number of data points or all the number of data set. So we have to calculate the each difference between all data set, that is the observed value and predicted value. So that's why I'm making the summation of all difference value. Now here we are talking about the mean square error. That's why we are taking all error point and which is divided by n. Now n is nothing but the number of observation or number of data points. Now here the difference between these 2 points is nothing but the error, and it must be in positive. That's why I make the square. So mean squared error can be found out by using this formula. Let's understand the formula once again. How we are going to calculate it? 1 by n into summation of actual value. Now y is nothing but the actual value, and this summation symbol is nothing but the sum of all the difference error, and n is nothing but a sample size or total number of observation, and y is nothing but the actual data values, and y cap is nothing but the forecast or predicted value or estimated value. Now why we use the mean squared error? It measures how to close regression line to set of data points. Second, it also estimates some risk function corresponding to the expected value and predicted value or the actual value. Now it calculating taking the average or means from the related data functions. That's why we use the mean squared error. And it can be calculated by the factor, that is y, that is observed value, that is the actual value. Y cap is nothing but the predicted value or estimated value, and n is the number of observation. And this is the formula for MSE, that is 1 upon n summation of y minus y cap square. Now here we solve one example, but the link of the solved example is given into the description box. So this is all about the mean square error. Thank you.